The horizon bled crimson as a late summer storm brewed over Harper's Ridge, casting jagged shadows across my 47 acres of hard-won ranch land. I was hauling the last bale of alfalfa into the barn when the growl of an engine tore through the dusk. A sleek black SUV, chrome glinting like a predator's teeth, roared down my private drive, kicking up gravel and fury. No call, no warning, just headlights slicing through the haze and a figure stepping out, silhouette sharp against the dying light. My border collie Scout bristled at my side, sensing trouble before I did. The air crackled with something primal, like the calm before a stampede. I set the bale down, dust clinging to my boots and square my shoulders. Whoever this was, they'd picked the wrong evening to trespass. Her name was Vi V. Wine Holt, though I wouldn't learn that until she was halfway through her tirade. She emerged from the SUV in a tailored emerald blazer that screamed city money, her heels sinking into the dirt as she clutched a clipboard like a shield. "This eyesore you call a barn is a blight on progress," she barked, voice cutting through the evening hum of crickets. Her finger jabbed toward my weathered red barn 3 generations old, sturdy as faith itself. I stood there, hay dust settling on my flannel, trying to parse whether this was a prank or a fever dream. It was 7:12 p.m., and I hadn't in VY Ted anyone. Scout growled low, and I hushed him, though I shared his sentiment. Vi VY didn't pause for introductions. She stormed across my yard, her pen scratching furious notes as she circled the barn like a vulture eyeing carrion. "Peeling paint, unregulated livestock, VY Soul discord," she muttered, scribbling as if my goats cared about her aesthetics. I watched, half amused, half baffled, as she sniffed near the horse stall and recoiled, jotting biohazard with a flourish. My coffee mug, forgotten on the fence post, was cold by now, but I wasn't about to let this stranger ruin my night without a fight. Let's rewind a bit. My name's Caleb Morrow, and I've worked this ranch since I could walk, inheriting it from my granddad, who inherited it from his. It's 47 acres of rolling hills, stubborn clay, and memories land that's outlasted droughts, floods, and my own mistakes. 2 years ago, a subby VY shown called Willow Crest crept up a mile east, all cookie-cutter houses and manicured lawns, like a golf course with delusions of grandeur. I kept my distance, they kept theirs, and we coexisted in uneasy silence. Until Vi VY. She stopped her inspection long enough to face me, clipboard poised like a gavel. "This structure violates the Willow Crest community standards," she declared, as if my barn answered to her. I blinked, temper simmering. "You're on private land." "No, HOA here." Her lips twitched, but she didn't back down. "As president of the Willow Crest Homeowners Association and director of our Regional Harmony Initiative, I'm extending oversight to ensure rural compliance." I laughed, sharp and short. "You invented that title this morning, didn't you?" Her eyes narrowed, and I knew I'd struck a nerve. Questioning her authority was worse than spitting in her coffee. Vi VY and's SUV sat parked in my hay lane, blocking the path I needed to finish chores before the storm hit. It was a choke point, a challenge begging for a response. My nephew, Riley, ambled out from the house, phone in hand, his lanky frame dwarfed by one of my old work jackets. "Who's the green dragon lady?" he whispered, eyeing Vi VY as she ranted about my tractor's rust offending her sensibilities. "HOA dictator," I muttered. Riley grinned, catching the glint in my eye. "You thinking hay fort?" I nodded. No words needed. Vi VY was too busy lecturing about property value erosion to notice us stacking bales around her car, quiet, deliberate, a wall of alfalfa rising like a monument to her audacity. We swung the 10-foot gate shut, padlocked it, and stepped back to admire our work. Not a cage, just a puzzle she'd have to solve. Vi VY spun at the clang of the lock, her face a mix of shock and fury. "What is this? You're trapping my vehicle?" she screeched, charging the bales like a bull at a matador. "Securing a trespasser," I said coolly. "Rural oversight, you might say." Her clipboard trembled as she jabbed a finger at me. "This is illegal. You can't detain me." I leaned against a post, unfazed. You parked yin in VY Ted, insulted my barn, spooked my goats. You're lucky I didn't lock you in the feed shed. Riley, barely stifling a laugh, held up his phone. Filming for posterity, he chirped. VY, Anne's eyes widened, but she doubled down, trying to climb the bales. Her heels sank, her blazer snagged, and she nearly toppled into the dirt. Scout barked, delighted by the chaos. She retreated to her SUV, honking like it had summoned a cavalry, but the only response was a startled moo from my cows. Call the sheriff, I said, dialing Ray Carver, our local deputy who'd seen every kind of ranch drama twice. Ray'll love this. VY fumed, phone pressed to her ear, gesturing wildly as if rallying an in VY Cybele army. No one came. Riley, sipping cocoa on the porch, narrated like a wildlife documentary host. Day 1 of the HOA siege. Subject remains defiant, unaware of her alfalfa prison's genius. Ray's patrol truck rolled up an hour later, headlights cutting through the gathering dark. He stepped out, boots crunching gravel, his mustache twitching with barely concealed amusement. "Caleb, what's this circus?" he asked, scanning the bales, the gate, and VY, Anne's red-faced fury. "Trespasser," I said. Parked in my hay lane, ranted about my barn. Secured her car with half my winter feed. Ray chuckled. "Prime alfalfa, too. Better than the diner's hash browns." VY leapt from her SUV, flailing. "I'm being detained by a maniac. This is farm filth entrapment." Ray raised a hand, calm as ever. "You're on private land, ma'am. No HOA jurisdiction here. You blocked his work path, wandered like a lost tourist. He didn't trap, you just kept trouble contained." VY and pointed at Riley's phone, still recording. "That's a privacy violation." Riley grinned. "Public VYEW, ma'am. For the ranch newsletter." Ray shook his head, hiding a smile. "You're not helping your case, MS. Hole." I crossed my arms. "Apologize by sundown, and we'll move the bales." VY scoffed, slammed her door, and called more ghosts who never showed. Ray left, tossing back. "Don't let her eat the hay, Caleb." Riley's clip, HOA Tyrant Versus. Hay Fortress, hit his social feed, captioned Ranch Justice 101. I figured it'd fizzle. I was wrong. By noon the next day, the VY Dayo had 50,000 VYUs, memes sprouting like weeds. Jailed by hay, barn defender. VYN, undeterred, waved a citation at me Dulac 2000 for unregulated agricultural aesthetics. I flipped it over. "Your dry cleaning receipt's on the back," I said, handing it back. She spat, "This isn't over," and peeled out, gravel flying. Riley's post hit 200,000 VYUs by dusk, the internet crowning my rooster, Duke, as guardian of the ranch. Quiet didn't last. Thursday morning, tires rumbled Agina white truck emblazoned with Holt Mediation Ser VYCS led a caravan of SUVs and a van sporting Willow Crest safety patrol magnets. Comic Sans screaming amateur hour. VY emerged, a VY aiders gleaming, a whistle dangling like she was auditioning for drill sergeant. Flanking her were Greg Munson, sweating through a windbreaker, and Tara Leeds, all sharp angles and sharper notes on her own clipboard. Riley, in pajama pants under a borrowed jacket, whispered, "Reinforcements? They look like a community theater troupe." VY grabbed a bullhorn because of course she did and bellowed, "Unlawful occupant. CIVYC observation pending Neighborhood Safety Alliance re-VYEW." I lean on the gate, unfazed. "Trespassing again? New fake bureaucracy." She waved a list. Hay stacking violations, rooster noise complaints, barn color trauma. Riley choked on a laugh as Greg slipped in goat manure, face planting spectacularly. Tara measured my fences, dodging a wasp nest like it was personal. VY blew her whistle by the pond, directing nothing but her own ego. After 30 minutes, she handed me an envelope glitter-edged, like a kid's craft project demanding due law 6,000 or CIVYC detention. I held it up. "This means nothing. You know that." She huffed, undeterred. "Fines by mail." My neighbor, Ellie Harmon, called later, laughing. VY ends knocking on doors, calling you a menace. Wants signatures for an ethics probe. I grinned. Let her dig her own grave. Riley's next VY Deo VY ends rants. Greg's fall. The whistle dubbed over techno at 600,000 VYUs. Captioned HOA versus Ranch. No jurisdiction. Memes exploded. Whistle warrior, aesthetic avenger. VY and showed up alone the next day, deflated, her blazer wrinkled. Take down the VY Deo, she pleaded. It's defamation. I crossed my arms. It's truth. You trespassed, played tyrant. She glanced at Riley's new Sign Hey Fort tours. Sanity check included and fled, meme-bound. The Willow Crest HOA meeting that Saturday packed the rec center, folding chairs groaning under restless neighbors. VYN, in a fresh blazer, stacked pamphlets titled Presser VY in Community Elegance. She flashed a photo of my barn, ranting about unchecked chaos and property line anarchy. I stood combat firm. VY and Trespassed, block my hay lane, claim my land. Fake fines, glitter threats, a hay trap she built herself. Laughter rippled through the crowd. I held up her citation, grocery list scrawled on the back. This is her power. Ellie Harmon stood next. VYN, you lost the board vote. 7 ballots. No president, just a liaison. VYN froze, her empire crumbling. Honorary title, she stammered. Ellie snapped, no such thing. You shamed us. Murmurs grew, chairs scraped, and folks left, pamphlets untouched. VYN stood alone, her reign over. Riley's final VY Deo Hey, reckoning hit 1 million VYUs, freezing VYN's failed speech. Her house listed for sale a week later, rumors swirling of a softer HOA in another state. Locals toured the Hay Fort, kids feeding Duke, now dubbed Defender of the Ridge. Riley sold bail justice shirts, and an indie filmmaker pitched a documentary. I fixed fences, fed my herd, and hung a sign, private. No HOA. Trespassers bailed. At Ellie's barbecue that fall, Ray raised a glass. To Caleb, keeping the ridge free. Willow Crest laughed, healed, and moved on. The storm had passed, and my barn stood tall, red as ever, under a sky that answered to no one. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.